This is episode 60.
Yeah, it is episode 60.
Sweet.
Holy shit, that is so many episodes.
My thingy. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. Good. Thingy. Where's your thingy, Elly? Come on. This is not very professional. Your name tag.
How is it not on?
I don't know. It's not.
Oh my god.
What do I look like? A computer
Amateurs.
expert?
God.
Come on. We're bringing Arrow down. Okay. So.
Oh, hey, if you're on YouTube, you can click here to join this audience for the Hangout on Air.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Google.
Yeah. I'm going to click it and see what happens.
Do it. I didn't get that, I guess, because I started the broadcast, so.
No, I went to the YouTube page. Okay. I'm watching it in the YouTube
All right,
thing.
you watch it, just in case anyone has anything to say, which they
I
won't.
can vote for my favorite moments.
Oh my god.
I don't actually see any chat. Like, there's no chat here. But I'm totally going to vote for whenever Liore looks the dumbest.
Your finger's going to get pretty tired from hitting the vote button. Making stupid faces is part of my gig for this show. Okay, so, right, I'm going to do an intro. Hello and welcome to Cat Context Podcast, episode 64, Wednesday, September 24th, 2014. Forgot to check that out ahead of time. Okay, someone has their mic up or something because I can hear myself feedbacking. Their headphones up too loud?
That possibly Elly in the YouTube?
I just closed YouTube when you said that, so tell me if it goes away.
All right, let me see.
Both my
Yes.
YouTube things were closed, or were muted, but I don't know. Maybe like, whatever. Thanks, Google.
Sorry.
Now you gotta start again. Let's clap.
Sorry, I could hear myself like 2 seconds after I talked. And it was
No,
super
yeah, I
distracting.
did that, and I heard myself, and then I was like, okay, I'm not gonna be in the audience now. It's
All
fine.
right. Forget it. If you're trying to talk to us, too bad. No. Okay. I'm gonna do an intro.
Also,
again.
say episode 64 week, whatever, rather than episode 64 week. Totally sounded like you said episode 64. I'm voting for that now. That's a good one. I should vote for that one.
God,
What,
yeah.
the times Elly is the most assholey?
So that's all the times. What are you talking about?
Oh, this is the best show. Okay. Hello and welcome to Cat Context, episode 60, for the date of September 24th, 2014. There you go, Elly. Are you happy now? Are you
I'm
happy?
pretty happy.
Lies, you're never happy.
My name is Liore, and as you can tell, my usual co-hosts here, Arolaide and Elynriel, are also present. And today we're going to be talking about ArcheAge. We're going to talk about Divinity: Original Sin, and we're going to talk about Dragon Coins, the mobile game, because Elly and I are totally into it right now.
Damn, I have to download it.
You should. Yeah, be friends, and then we can send each other messages, but we'll get to all that later.
The messaging is amazing.
Oh, God.
Okay, but first, Arrow, how's your weekend been?
My weekend has been a little crazy because tomorrow is my oldest 4th birthday, so we had everyone in the world over here for a giant, hilarious party yesterday.
Oh, yay, happy birthday, Gup!
She wore her Elsa dress, and she had a frozen cake, and she sang all day, and it was adorable.
That sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty great.
That sounds like a great 4th birthday. Wow,
But I'm
4
so
already?
tired.
Holy cow.
Right?
Wow, that's actually kind of scary.
That is part.
Yeah, y'all remember when that happened?
Yeah, okay. Well, good honor for continuing to celebrate the passage of time.
Right? Yeah.
Elly, how was your weekend?
Pretty good. I played games all day yesterday, so that was cool.
Nice.
I went to
What
a
games?
Magic pre-release. This is the amount of time I get to devote to Magic right now. I went to a Magic pre-release, and then I went and played a game of Fate Accelerated at a friend's house. He's prepping for a con next weekend, or no, in a couple weeks. But I was helping him figure out how to do it, so that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah,
Way to play games.
I know. Not video games though, except for Dragon Coins. Oh, and 2 dots.
I sort of want to ask you about that, but I sort of feel like we should move on to our main topic. So hold that for later. We can talk about what we've been playing lately, and you can tell me what that is, and I can talk about dating pigeons, because that's been going on in my world. But first thing we're going to talk about, let's talk about Divinity Original Sin first. This was a Kickstarter game that came out, gosh, I think it was probably about 6 weeks ago now. Arrow is playing it, so Arrow, tell us what you think, and tell us, well, first what it is.
It's a kind of a turn-based RPG, only twisted a little bit. It doesn't really feel like a Kickstarter game. It's a lot more polished than you would expect for a Kickstarted game that's not Broken Age. It feels a lot like old school, like Baldur's Gate, Neverwinter Nights, that kind of thing, where there's a vast array of character classes. Like, you can be a straight-up thief, or a thief and a healer, or a thief and a tank, and then, like Quest for Glory, you can put points in pickpocketing even if you're a cleric. And like Skyrim, you have to make sure that people are distracted and looking the other way when you want to steal things, or they get mad at you, and that's no good. And it's a little finicky sometimes with the targeting that it does, and it's like a cross between your standard turn-based RPG and like a hex base, where you've got a particular set of movements and action points instead of like a mana bar. But I'm playing a co-op with Mr. Arrow, which is really, really, really hilarious, because they get I think you can only have 2 people at a time. It would be really cool if you could have more than that, but you can only have, I think, only 2 people co-oping at a time. But your characters talk to each other and can get angry about things, like, what do you mean we're not going to go kill all these innocent kittens? I would like kittens for dinner. And then you get influence with each other, which determines your crit rating and can give you bonuses to defense and things like that. It's a whole lot of fun.
I think you rock, paper, scissors.
When you rock, paper, scissors, yeah! Like, when you're, whenever people get angry at you, or you want to convince them of things, you have to play rock, paper, scissors. But it's rock, paper, scissors, and AI is no fun at all. Because it is a total crapshoot. There's no way. I mean, you can't, like, when you're playing rock, paper, scissors for real, only not, like, for real, because who does this seriously? Only my family, I think. You know, you can see the way people's hands are moving and make your judgments accordingly, but the AI, it's just pulling shit out of nowhere. And you click paper, and sure enough, there's scissors every time. Every fucking time. But you get a bonus for your intimidation, charisma, or intelligence for reason. So you can pick all of those things. But sometimes you can't reason with someone, you have to charm them. So if you have low charisma and high intelligence, then you're still screwed.
Sounds pretty cool. So it sounds like really flexible as far as how you play.
It's super flexible. The actual game itself is really linear, where they're, like Baldur's Gate or Neverwinter, there's, you know, a particular path in the story that you have to go, but the way you get there is whatever the hell you want at all, which is my favorite kind of game. Like things like Skyrim or other totally open world things, I get completely lost. I need at least a vaguely linear story with, you know, Skyrim-y choices, flexibility within that linear story. Otherwise, I get lost and I get bored and I don't care. But this is super fun, and everyone should play it. And it's not even really expensive, I don't think.
Yeah, it's not. I think it's like $20.
Yeah, I was gonna say like 25, maybe 30 at the most, but it'll go on sale. You know, it's Steam.
Oh no, it's 40. But
is it seriously? Maybe I got it on sale.
I don't know. Everything I've heard, I haven't played it yet, but everything I've heard makes it seem worth probably $40. So
you should totally play it with Talon. It is so fun co-op.
I want to. I don't have a good couch, like television setup, computer setup, And if I did, that's absolutely on the list of things I would play while sitting at the couch.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good couch co-op.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, couch co-op. I didn't even think about that.
What
No,
do you
we're
usually
actually
do?
we're landing it to PCs.
Oh, you can LAN it? Oh,
Yeah.
all right. I thought it was like a sit on the couch and both play sort of situation.
Oh no, that's every other RPG in the world. No, this is actually he's got a character and I have a character and they argue.
Oh, cool. And one of the best things that I've heard about it is that if you play together, you play both people. So you end up arguing with yourself and having to sort of Rochambeau yourself.
Oh, that's hilarious. I had no idea.
Yeah. So,
oh, yeah. If you play by yourself,
yeah,
you play both.
Yeah, it makes for some really interesting sounding experiences where, like, especially if you actually actively get into role playing both characters at the same time, and then they get into philosophical. You realize that actually you're arguing with yourself, but also it's kind of cool. So.
And you also get AI companions.
Right.
Are not that dumb.
This seems to me, and maybe I just don't know of others, but this seems to me to be one of the big Kickstarter success stories.
I mean, FTL was also.
Right, I would say FTL, and obviously Broken Age, although, Broken Age, I almost don't consider it a Kickstarter success story because you come from Double Fine. I mean, it is a Kickstarter success story, but it also has a pretty impressive pedigree aside from that. But as far as games sort of coming out of nowhere from Kickstarter, you're right, FTL would be another one, and this one, I think.
It's actually a sequel. I think there's Divinity, and maybe it's just straight up Divinity. This is the third game.
Divinity.
Right, yeah. And I have those in my Steam library. I need to play them because I really like the way this. I think.
Are they related?
Rhianna Pratchett wrote the second one.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Which, by the way, Epor, I didn't realize that Rhianna Pratchett was that Rhianna Pratchett.
Yes.
Had no idea.
As in of the Pratchetts.
Yes, as in of the Pratchetts. I'm sitting here reading a blurb about, how Terry Pratchett is doing because it's failing health and it's very sad, talking about his daughter Rhianna. Oh, that's interesting. I know a Rhianna Pratchett who writes too. Oh my god!
Yes, I think she's writing the sequel for Tomb Raider too. She's a neat lady.
Yes. We can totally edit that out. That tangent.
Those are the best tangents.
On birthday cake and social interaction. So.
Hey, what are you gonna do?
Man, now I wish I had cake.
I know. I wish I
really
had
good cake.
I wish I had a cake in my fridge.
Sparkle snowflakes on it and everything.
Man.
Now I'm gonna have to go get cake after this. This is terrible.
You all are totally invited to our 5th party.
Sweet. We will be there. There better be good cake.
Oh, I'm sure.
Well, that's awesome. $40 is probably a little out of my comfortable price range, but once it comes down in a sale, I'll put it. I'm pretty sure it's on my wish list. And once it comes down in the sale, I will definitely get it. Is it? Baldur's Gate is kind of infamously cruel and punishing. Is it that kind of old school, or is it fairly friendly?
See, I don't know, because I never considered Baldur's Gate punishing because that was the kind of RPG world that I came from. So, I mean, shit like, I don't know, Shadowgate and Solomon's Key and,
So what you're saying is you're a glutton for punishment, so you don't know that.
And which fucking way do you have to spell Rumpelstiltskin this goddamn time, King's Quest? Orders just removed with the narrow scraping implement. So I never really thought of Baldur's Gate as punishing. It's just straight up. You do have to do the BioWare style moving your dudes out of the bad dance. But it's not that tedious. Not like, Jesus Christ, Alistair, you're on fire again.
That guy sucked. Well, yeah.
We've had this conversation before. We're not.
No, I wasn't even talking about his character. I was talking about the fact that he liked to.
The AI in Dragon Age is notoriously terrible.
That is true. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. But this, I mean, the AI doesn't control where they move. It's all you click everything.
Is it turn-based? then?
It is turn-based.
Okay. I haven't played. I don't know if I've ever really played like a turn-based RPG.
Like
I mean,
Final Fantasy.
Okay, but not one with like positioning. I never played Final
Oh,
Fantasy
okay.
Tactics or whatever. I mean, I've definitely played those kinds of games, but not. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. The combination of positioning and turn-based is not something I've played a lot of, but it definitely, I like that. You know, it's nicer for sort of that late night kind of, you know, being chill and not too twitchy kind of gaming. So
Yeah, it seems interesting. I'm not saying I can't. I'm trying to like line it up with other things that I've played, and not really having played Baldur's Gate or anything, and certainly not in a long time. Oh my god.
What?
Okay, it's fine. Whatever. Let's go on. Let's move on to the next.
No. We gotta rewind here. How could you have never played Baldur's Gate? You can get it on the iPad now, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, but I heard it's not very good on the iPad.
It doesn't matter.
Well,
It's
why
Baldur's
would I
Gate.
go
It's
play
formative.
Baldur's
What's
Gate
wrong with
now?
you? No, God damn it! You have to play Baldur's Gate. You have to. How can you appreciate any other party RPG if you've never played Baldur's Gate?
Because all of the ones now are
Yeah.
similar enough that I can see where they come from, so there's no reason for me to go play a 20-year-old game.
It is not 20 years old. You shut your stupid dumb kid face.
Oh, Elly, you just keep digging yourself deeper into this hole.
But are you talking about Baldur's Gate 1 or 2?
Both.
All right, I'm looking up right now.
I know
I
it's not 20 years old because I
Okay,
played it with Mr.
alright.
Arrow and we've only been together for 17 years. Jesus Christ.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Baldur's Gate was released in December of 1998, so I apologize. It's only 15 years old.
Yeah, that's right.
I have played like Neverwinter Nights. I have played games of that ilk for sure. Baldur's Gate I don't think I ever played. So
Baldur's Gate's
I know, and they have the enhanced editions, and
just
everybody's
just
playing them
humoring
on
me when
Twitch
you were-
streams and blah blah blah. But I've not played it.
Were you just humoring me all those times for all these years that you've just nodded and smiled about the stupid elf triplets? You have to play
talked about elf. When did you talk about elf triplets?
the three love interests in Baldur's Gate. It's three elves.
Oh yeah, I think you did talk about that once. I don't know. I probably wasn't paying attention.
You don't listen when I talk because you're an asshole.
All right, so moving on. I also have not played Baldur's Gate. I think, Arrow, you got me it for Christmas last year, so I have no excuse.
And you still haven't played it.
I still haven't
Thanks
played
for
it.
that Christmas present.
It's because
You know what? You're all assholes.
I know it's true.
We're not
It's true.
anymore.
It's true. This podcast is over. My problem with every time I think about starting at Baldur's Gate is that I hear it's so hardcore and serious, and that it's entirely possible. I read an example the other day. Someone's like, you can walk across a petrifying trap, and that's it. Your game's over. Hope you saved recently, because you're done.
You can set that's the difficulty setting. I mean, you don't have to set it on. I've played D&D since I was 4 years old.
All right. Well, if I can play
have
it
not
on
an
easier
asshole to
mode,
yet.
then well, I would be fine with that. But I was a little intimidated by the whole kind of old school hardcore thing. But
Yeah,
you know,
I don't know. It goes along with the whole. Do I really want to sit down to something that I know is 40 or 50 hours long, and
Yes.
has builds that are broken if you start them early or not?
right? Okay. That's a problem I have with games in general.
Like, because
where I will sit down.
Go ahead.
I will sit down to research the build, and then I will do like 3 hours of research, and I'm like, well, my game time's over. Time to go to bed.
I won't. I refuse to look them up. And like, if I go, I just won't, because like I don't want to like see all the story spoilers that tell you that, you know. I mean, I don't know. It's not fun for me to just do that. Like the interesting part of those kinds of RPGs, I can't say Baldur's Gate specifically, but other similar RPGs that I've played, is building a personalized character. And if I've built something that just simply doesn't work, which was totally a thing that happened when I bought 1 game a year or 2 games a year, you know, I would be way more okay with it. But now I have 50 games from the last 2 years that are all installed on my PC, So if one of them is going to make me start over just because I picked the wrong button and not tell me which button it is that's wrong, then fuck it, I'll go on to the next one.
No, and it also, I mean, it auto saves, and you're a coward. You're a coward. You're a coward. That's all.
Well, legit.
That's fine.
You suck, and you never play any good games, and I don't like you anymore.
That's fair.
All right. Well, thank you for this lovely discussion on Divinity Original Sin. I have been playing ArcheAge, which launched in North America on Tuesday of last week. It is programmed by XL Games out of South Korea. It is being produced or pushed or published. That's the word I'm looking for. It's being published by Tryon Worlds here in North America. And I mean, I played it in alpha. I talked about it in alpha. It's a great game. The thing that a lot of people are talking about right now is the queues. Oh, the queues. It reminds me of, like, old school Warcraft.
I was gonna say I tried to play, and I'm still waiting in the queue, but it's not
right.
But it's kind of true.
We had a guildie talk about how he was in the queue for 10 hours yesterday.
Oh my god!
And he's subscribed, right?
I don't think he's subscribed. I think he's a freebie. Subscribers, patrons do get in first, but I got frustrated and threw them $15.
Mr. Arrow did the same thing because he hadn't been in it at all.
Right, exactly. And I was just like, screw it. You know, my time is worth.
Pretty sure they did that on purpose.
Well, it's interesting, but even with the patron, it's still, I'm looking at like a good 2-3 hours to get into the game right now. And of course, the problem with queues, and I mean, there are people who are so angry about this right now, and I want to stress, I am not one of these incredibly angry internet people. You know, queues happen, whatever. But there are. It's frustrating because you don't know when you're going to get to play, and oftentimes it seems like by the time my queue gets down, I'm already doing something else because I've had to distract myself for like 3 hours, and so then I'm not really in the mood to play. And it's just, I sort of feel at this point like I might wait a week and then try playing again because the queue thing is a kind of a bummer. But due to the nature of ArcheAge, that means that the open world land problem is a situation is going to be a problem. So if you're not in it right now and claiming your land, it's possibly going to be difficult to claim your land like 2 weeks from now. And it also means that they can't go adding servers like crazy like most MMOs do and then collapse them later, because then you've got this open world land, people have farms on the same plot, what the heck are they going to do? And I mean, that sounds like a nightmare to me. I can totally understand why they're restricting the number of servers right now, because having to try and sort out land claims later would be a mess.
Yeah, and they don't want to have empty worlds either that they feel like they have to keep open because people have claimed and built on and everything. I was thinking about that because I was thinking, oh, hey, I should go play ArcheAge today, and then I figured I wouldn't, even if I had logged on this morning, I wouldn't actually get in the game till after the podcast tonight. But yeah, I was kind of thinking I'm going to wait at least a month. For people who joined and then are like, oh yeah, it's another MMO, I'm out, and let their taxes or whatever go away, or lose their plots, and also just so I can get in when I want to play. It's like I played a little in the beta and it seemed fine and MMO-y. It's nice that other people are playing and seem to be interested in it, but.
Yeah, like it's a lot of fun, and I can imagine that Tryon Worlds is both happy and sad with the way things are going, because obviously they have a lot of people who want to play this game, but they now have a lot. I mean, don't even go to the official ArcheAge forums, man. It is, oh my god. Oh my god, just the full range of your queues killed my dog. Like it is serious business right now.
Well, that's because they couldn't take their dog for a walk or feed it because they had to sit in front of their computer for the whole weekend, or else they would miss their opportunity to log in.
Right, exactly. Yeah, but I mean the game is really fun, and for people, if you haven't got into it yet, I say wait a month, give the free trial a shot, or the free to play version. it definitely, we've had a lot of theme park MMOs, and while this kind of starts out very theme parky, once you get to about level 15, you got your garden and houses, and you can craft, or you can just go sail around in a boat. I'm joining a guild, and they already have their merchant vessels set up for cross-continent trading, and so, yeah, it's kind of cool. I'm excited once I'm able to get in and play.
If you just want to wander around and sail around in a boat or whatever, how likely are you to just die to some horrible sea monster on the open water?
With the boat that you get default, it's just like a two-person rowboat.
Yeah.
I tried this on alpha, and I was like, I'm just going to head out in the middle of the ocean. And I got about 5 minutes into the ocean, and then I was killed by a swarm of angry jellyfish. So there's not I mean, you could probably go along the shore and stuff, but the other thing to consider right now is, of course, any narrows are being camped by pirates at the moment. So if you look like you might have something tasty on your vessel, the pirates are waiting for you. But I like that. It's the living world thing, right? It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I don't know. There's enough nostalgia back to Star Wars Galaxies, plot building and stuff, that makes me interested in going and exploring, but I have no desire to row my rowboat and have some pirates kill me.
Yeah, I mean, if you stick to, there are things you can do to minimize the pirates killing you. I mean, and to be fair, if you're going by in a rowboat, you probably don't look like you have anything tasty, so they're not.
But you might be easier to kill.
Sure, but they're not necessarily interested in that. What they want is the merchant vessels, which are going to be full of trading goods, and that's what they're really there for. And those are large with multiple sails, and they have 8 people on them or something. So that is going to be a tastier treat for a band of pirates.
Yeah, I mean, I just that's the problem with the 2-continent system that they have set up, I guess, with the allowing everybody ample room to build. That was something that Star Wars never seemed to have a problem with, because there were, I don't know, Era, how many planets were there? 6 or something? 7?
You couldn't build on Dathomir or Endor, but you could build everywhere else.
Yeah, and so there were a bunch of planets, and each one of those planets was a cool WoW continent sort of size.
5 or 6, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that game just seemed to have way more land than would be populated. And actually, part of the interesting thing was just sort of driving across the nothingness and coming onto a random town or something. That was cool. But if they're sort of out of land already, that's really frightening.
Yeah, there is a 3rd continent that they have not opened up yet, but it is a mostly PvP continent, and I've heard different things about how safe your house will be on a PvP continent. One of our friends who's playing, Aurelia, who's also been on the show, says that it's probably an okay place to build your house there, but that to me, more than the queues, because the queues, give it a week or 2, queues are going to die down, right? To me, the land situation is the most concerning, because what I really am interested in this game is, making a house, making a large farmyard, getting some cows, doing that kind of thing. And if I'm not able to do that because I wasn't in Head Start or because queues have kept me out of the game, that's going to be really frustrating. And that will probably be, if that turns out to be the case, the kiss of death for me in ArcheAge. And I love this game, but if I can't make my farm and make my house, I just don't know what there is to do for me.
Yeah, I kind of just want to fly around on a glider and play 3D Farmville. That's the things that sound the most interesting.
Right, exactly. So if the land situation is such that, if you weren't in that Head Start, and I didn't pay to get one of the Head Start packages, so I started on Tuesday with all the rest of the unwashed masses.
Good.
Yeah.
I congratulate you.
Yes, and also I've been, really busy this last couple of weeks, so I haven't really had much time to play. So if I'm going to be permanently at a disadvantage and not be able to own land because of that, it's going to be pretty frustrating. So I'm hoping that, as you say, in a couple weeks from now, people are going to stop playing, some people, and the taxes means that their land goes back up and all that kind of thing. So I'm hoping it works out. I'm sure that it's in Trion's best interest to make towns dense but not, impossible to get land. So
Yeah, I mean,
hope.
it seems like if you were playing when you started, the thing to do is to go claim your plot of land, regardless of whether you're actually going to use it or not, just because it's limited.
Mhm.
And the fact that they have a mechanic for reclaiming unused land that's good. Um, I don't know how expensive it is to maintain your land. Like, if you go on vacation for a couple of weeks, are you going to come back and your farm has been claimed? Again, I don't actually know. But like conceptually, it seems cool. I've also heard a bunch of comparisons to Eve, in terms
Era,
of
what are you
like.
playing on your phone?
Dragon coins.
I thought I recognized that song. Sorry,
I can't
sorry.
figure out how to turn it off.
It's always
I heard the music.
it's buried in the menus. Don't worry about it.
I mean, yes, Eve. I think that's a good comparison. It's Farm Eve.
So with Eve,
Is it Eve Farm Eve?
Eve is like Space Farm Eve though, and like Space
Okay.
Mining Eve, and this is like there's animal husbandry or whatever. So like
Yes.
all I want to do is shear some sheep, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, but it's like even in the whole sort of open world economy crafting.
yeah, and they've specifically said they don't care if you scam other people, and they don't care if you ruin other people's days, and like that's just a social problem that the community will figure out. And so like I will be interested to see how that goes.
I think, if that is a concern for people, if you stick to kind of the close to towns and whatnot, it will be a lot less of a problem. And I also think this is a game that really supports working as a group, having a guild, having a family, which is what they call their unit of friends. And I think that's really going to be critical to enjoying the game. This is not a game you want to solo. I mean, I think you can log on and play solo, but you're going to want to be part of a greater collective, not only for your own protection, but also because everything is crafted, and one player is probably not going to be an expert in all the crafting, so you're going to want to have other people to trade goods with. It's just, I mean, there is an auction house, but it's incredibly expensive. This is really a collective-based game.
How bad is it to die?
That's a good question.
That is a good question. You will lose a little XP if you're dying repeatedly, but you can pray at shrines to get most of it back. So it's not bad. There's a small XP penalty. I haven't found it that overwhelming.
Yeah, I'm more concerned if I'm off and do start jumping into like the PvP continent or like getting pirated or whatever, like how bad that is. How negative an experience it is. Like that's one of the things that kept me out of Eve was if you get blown up, then like all of your work and money and everything in your spaceship is gone, and that represents hundreds of hours potentially, and that like the risk reward was kind of too skewed towards the risk for me. But if this is the sort of thing where I can just go do some farming or run around my continent or whatever I do after a week of exploring, then I think that's a lot better.
Yeah, it's not bad. And this is based on alpha because I haven't looked totally if they've changed it that much. I think it's relatively the same. In alpha anyway, if they came and like burned your boat, let's say, you just had to go and put together a boat patch, craft it up, and then you can fix your boat. If they take your trade packs, you get 20% of your trade packs, and the thieves get 80%. So you're not totally out, and you're probably not going to have that many trade packs with you unless, again, you're on like a merchant boat.
Right.
So, it's enough to make you think about it, but not, I think it's a lot more gentle than Eve, whereas you say, like, hundreds of hours of work into your ship and fixings. And
I mean, like, I totally understand the appeal of that for certain people, too. I absolutely do, but I'm well beyond where I can have 100 hours go up in flames and not be really disappointed, and so.
Well, I agree, and I think that while you're right that appeals to a certain audience, the kind of seriously hardcore system, you also end up playing with people who really like that, and they're not always necessarily the nicest people. Whereas I think ArcheAge, just due to sort of its style and the fact that you can just kind of hang out and raise sheep all day and whatnot, you're going to get those really hardcore angry, competitive people, but you're also going to get people like our friend Aurelia, who, is very, very peaceful and just wants to raise sheep and is quite happy doing that. So I think it's a little more friendly to that than Eve, I think. Definitely.
Right, sure.
The most hardcore sheep raiser in the world, though.
Yeah! Yeah, exactly. She's a professional gardener, so then she gardens all day and then comes home and
she's a
gardens
farmer.
all night.
Don't call her a gardener.
Sorry, farmer. She is a farmer. That's absolutely correct. So she farms all day and then comes home and farms all night. So she is hardcore farming. So yeah, so hopefully it evens out. It's really difficult to get into right now. It's hard to meet up with your friends and play because, no one knows when they're going to get into the game.
Yeah. That seems kind of frustrating.
Yeah, like I applied to this guild last week and I haven't heard back yet because by the time I get on, it's like 11 o'clock at night and there's no one around. So yay. So I think if you haven't started it up yet, wait a couple weeks to start out, but do check it out. The free version, it's pretty cool. Go run around, take a look at the ocean. It's kind of neat. Okay, let's talk about dragon coins.
I have no idea what is going on here.
Okay, so I'll intro dragon coins the best I can, which is to say that it is one of the hundreds of mobile Pokemon-style clones out right now. I don't know. I think the biggest one is probably Puzzles and Dragons. There's a ton of them. You basically do some battles and then get a whole bunch of monsters, and then you make your monsters bigger and more powerful, and then eventually you evolve them, and your cute little dragon guy becomes some sort of half-clothed anime babe. As far as I can tell. And the fighting mechanic, rather than being like a sort of turn-based RPG thing, it's one of those casino coin pushing things where you drop your coin in and then the platform's moving back and forth. I'm doing hand motions and it's not helping at all. Platforms moving back and forth, and then it pushes all the quarters onto the lower thing, and then pushes some of the quarters into the holes, and then you get tickets or money back based on that. And in this case, your guys attack the bad guys, or get a special power or whatever. So Liore talked about it a week or two ago, maybe on the podcast. She was like, "Oh yeah, I'm playing this game called Dragon Age or Dragon Coins," and then all of a sudden there's 6 or 7 people playing Dragon Coins, and I don't know, it's pretty fun. I even gave them some money, which is pretty unlike me. So.
Yeah, I did too, actually, to get rid of ads.
Mostly to get rid of the horrible ads.
Yeah, I will say, we've all contributed just about some money to get rid of the ads, but otherwise I've managed to play the game without, there's no intrinsic need to spend money on the game. You can play perfectly well without spending any money. It's just if you play it enough, you're going to get sick of ads.
They have a stamina thing where you can only fight so often, but it recharges pretty quick, and if I run out of stamina, I usually feel like I've played for 15 or 20 minutes, and that's probably a good stopping point anyway.
Yeah.
So.
I've never played a Pokemon game before, so this is kind of my first use and evolve monsters game, and it's actually really fun. If I had a DS, I would totally play Pokemon after this, which I don't. So
I think Pokemon is way more interesting than these games, but I feel similarly. There's interesting collector thing, although I feel like I can't have as many monsters as I want. And of course you can buy extra monster slots. But that's the main issue. I can't keep one of every kind of monster plus enough to evolve my guys.
Yeah, I find that really frustrating too, and I've had to. I have a rule that I will immediately fuse all common monsters because, of course, you've got common and uncommon and rare and super rare plus. And
so the plus means evolved.
Yeah,
I figured that out today.
Plus means evolved.
So
and your monsters.
You can get common pluses and uncommon pluses also.
Yeah. And you can sometimes get those as rewards from doing various things. And there is kind of a nice selection of missions to do, which is, little encounters. So you can do, there's just a number of sort of preset standard ones. There's ones that pop up as an urgent mission that you can do with your friends.
You can spend a different currency to do those.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so many currencies. There's daily missions. So it's a nice little selection. I find that I I probably get like half an hour of playtime every day out of it, like waiting for the bus and stuff like that, fusing monsters. But yeah, I totally agree. I'm constantly having to do inventory management with my monsters because there's just not enough spots.
Yeah, and it's really sad because like the little blobby dudes are awesome. They're like super cute, but then they're like, just give them to the other guy and then he eats them all. And like, you're like, why did this fairy just eat 50 blobs? But, apparently it helped.
That's the way it works in the world of dragon coins. Yeah, it's pretty fun. And as we were talking about earlier at the beginning of the show, you get friendship coins for sending each other pre-arranged messages. So Elly and I end up sending each other like "Good evening" all the time. So
I'm gonna start.
Get our friendship coins.
You can like put a call out for a different element or whatever, but I don't think anybody actually reads those. As far as I can tell, nobody actually pays attention to those things.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure maybe eventually I'll care, but as of yet, the elements hasn't really concerned me.
It matters when you're doing like the urgent missions, which are pretty hard, or the daily or weekly missions, which the elements matter. Like if you have a team that is all the wrong element, like it can be pretty brutal.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you, I think I'm going for high-level evolved monsters first, and then I will fill in my team later once I run out of sort of story missions to do.
Yeah, I started out, I find I'm really focusing now on monsters that will generate coins for me, which is basically the fuel to attack things.
Oh, yeah.
You can also find monsters that will, do attack boost buffs and whatever, and some of that is okay, but mostly I just need more coins. All the coins.
Green coins or yellow coins or silver coins or red coins or purple coins.
Yeah, all the coins. I need them all. I need them all.
Or rainbow coins.
Yeah. Arrow, as someone who started this game approximately 10 minutes ago, how are you feeling about it?
I don't understand! So I'm dropping coins and little flashcards are beating up monsters, but you people are talking about things that I don't understand.
Well, that's good. That's the
inventory
start.
management. Do I even have inventory? I don't.
It'll yell at you when you run out. Don't worry about it.
And
then it'll teach you.
Casino, all of my coins keep going over the side, and it's really pissing me off.
Oh man! Well, there are monsters whose special abilities is to build a wall on either side, so that doesn't happen. But I immediately sub those guys out because I don't want some janky thing that just gets you more coins. It's actually probably really good. Like if you have a good monster on the side, it probably keeps all of those coins or the orbs that contain more monsters from going over the edge. Yeah, now you're realizing.
Oh, that's a good idea.
It's like when you make a capture team for WoW Pokemon, where they like with the turnip who can't kill things.
Okay.
Well, now you've lost me. I have no idea.
I have a new area unlocked and a bonus of 1,000 friend coins.
Sweet.
Yay! So if you go to summon, and then you can use your friend coins to summon more monsters.
Yeah, so summon is sort of the store.
Yeah, sort of.
That's how you get the random boxes.
I have 50 rainbow coins now. I don't understand.
I haven't spent any of this. I don't think I've spent any of the special coins other than the ones for the missions.
Okay, now it's giving me a graph on elemental attack modifiers, and I have no idea.
No, don't look at that.
Stop talking, Boobs McGee. The menu.
Yeah.
I call her anime boobs. I'm always like, anime boobs! The game's by Sega, so it's by a reputable creator, but it is full of anime boobs.
It is super full of anime boobs. So I'm using Crow Magus. He's on my team. He's been on my team for a while, and he's level 20 now. And I need to evolve him, but he's rare, and I don't know how to find another one. Do you have any idea how to find the special guys that you know? No.
I mean, there's a link in the app to the wiki.
Yeah,
so
no, the wiki just tells you what other things are like them. It doesn't actually tell you anything. But apparently, he evolves into witch. So instead of being a sweet crow with a wizard hat, he's like a witch with boob window.
Yeah, I've noticed that. You start out the low-level creatures, there's like, as you say, a crow or a blob or, a funny dog, and then they all seem to evolve eventually to being booby animes.
Oh, I got a magic mirror today.
Oh yeah, I've got a few of those.
I'm interested to see what that becomes.
Yeah. There's a few interesting, but it's pretty fun. I feel like should I somehow encounter something that can play Pokemon games in the future, I would actually do it based on playing Dragon Coins, and before this, I never would have played a Pokemon game.
Oh man, if I could actually get Pokemon on my phone, I would totally try one.
Right,
Is there
exactly.
I can't believe there's no Pokemon for iOS. That seems like a lost opportunity.
No, it's just DS as far as I know. They're pretty Nintendo intertwined.
Imagine that. Okay, but that's not important. What's important is I found the game ID input window, so give me things to put in.
Okay, we can. Should we do that on air?
No. Just send me your codes. Okay, well, we can, but I don't have my phone and.
I do.
Well,
it's even a new phone. Ooh, iPhone.
Oh, you actually got the new phone after all of your bitching. You got the new phone.
Have you dropped it yet? I hear it's really slippery.
Did you see that video? That video is hilarious.
I didn't.
Okay.
So there's
got a new special order case for my old phone. So
somebody went to somebody from the US went to Australia to be the first person to get an iPhone, and he camped out and got it. And there's a news a clip on YouTube somewhere of somebody interviewing him right after he gets his phone, and he's opening the box, and you can see his hands shake, and then he pops the box open, and the phone flies out and goes right onto the cement. The whole crowd's like, oh.
That's amazing.
That sounds trollish. I'm cynical.
Amazing.
I think his phone was okay, so I'm okay laughing at it. I forgot how to go to my friends.
All right.
It's in search. I got it. You ready for my ID?
Okay.
All right. 2480.
Okay.
9318.
9318.
2782.
2782. Okay. Now hurry up and accept my friend. Oh no, your friend list is full, you bastard!
My friend list is full?
Yes.
Oh my god, I'm gonna go.
All right. Everyone,
wait, no, I'm sorry.
Email me their code, and I will put it into the show notes. As much fun as it is for the listeners at home to listen to you manage your friends list.
Nope, I'm getting rid of all these people.
Aside from original Divinity Sin, what else have you been playing this week?
That's it. We've been playing a shit ton of Divinity. It's really slow. I mean, shit, that came out wrong. I mean, it's a very classic RPG. We're still level 5, and we've been playing, a couple hours a night every night since we got it, except this weekend.
All right, that's legitimate. Elly, what else have you been playing aside from Dragon Coins?
2 Dots. That's another mobile game.
Oh yeah, what the hell's that?
So have you heard of Dots?
Yeah, they're little specks of...
Okay, so there's an iPhone game called Dots, and it came out maybe last year, and it's basically a pattern matching thing. And you know that game where you built the grid of dots, and then you took turns putting a line between the 2 dots, and then eventually if you made a square, then you got the points. Did you ever play that?
No. But I understand the concept.
Okay. Anyway, that was a huge game when I was growing up. That was we made huge boards for that. This is kind of like that. There's basically a grid of dots, and they're different colors, and you make lines or squares, and if you make the squares, it gets rid of all the same colored dots. The original Dots game is basically just that, and it's get a high score game, or do it in 30 moves, get your high score. 2 Dots, they took the same game, and made it into sort of a challenge-based version. Except they also have shitty free-to-play timer restrictions. If you fail the life 5 times, then you have to wait for half an hour. Whatever. But I have been playing a bunch of that also, and it is very frustrating when the anchors don't drop, and they should. Fuckers.
So you've been playing 2 phone games this week, is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I can spend money to buy Uber monsters. You
No,
guys
don't do
are
it.
terrible.
No,
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 don't do
no,
that.
no, don't do it.
Nobody does that. Nobody, don't do that. I have Uber monsters and I haven't spent anything, so don't do that. That's a bad move. It's like it's okay. It's okay. All right. Well, I have actually also been playing a game, a real game, which is the Pigeon Dating Simulator. We're the worst podcast. How did we make a gaming podcast? We're barely playing games. It's Hatoful Boyfriend.
We played like probably 30 hours of games at least this week.
That's true. Okay,
It's just
fine.
been a lot of Dragon Coins.
Yeah, well, that's true. I've been playing Hatoful Boyfriend, which has been around for a long time, but finally came out in a proper English version where you don't have to do complicated subtitle things on Steam a couple weeks ago, and it's adorable. So you play a human, one of the last humans on Earth, because there was a horrible flu epidemic, who lives in a cave and is a hunter-gatherer. She says things all the time like, I must use my hunter-gatherer instinct. And she goes to a special school that is all pigeons and pigeon-related birds. I think there's like a partridge, one of the birds. And then you hang out, and then you date the pigeons. And it's actually, the story you run through is not that long. I'd say, like, I did it the first time through in about an hour, listening to everything. But much like other virtual novels, the whole point is to do it over and over and make different choices and date different pigeons and hear different stories. And it's actually really sweet, and it's held my attention a lot longer than I thought it would. This is really my first visual novel. I've been kind of skeptical about the genre because I'm like, not really a visual novel, whatever, because I'm kind of a snob. And this is actually really good, and I feel like I might explore more visual novels.
When you say visual novel, what would you classify Gone Home or something like that as?
I would not, because I think, and I might be wrong, so if I'm wrong, please let us know. But I think the whole deal with the visual novel is that you're supposed to do it over and over again. Like, often they come with fast-forward buttons, so you can fast-forward through the dialogue because you're just trying to make different choices after, like, your third or fourth time through it.
So, like The Walking Dead?
Does that have a fast-forward button?
You can skip conversations. I mean, you can skip conversations in Mass
I
Effect.
Yes, I think The Walking Dead, it's still kind of a linear plot.
Okay.
Whereas with these things like Hatoful Boyfriend, there are similar events, but you kind of go in totally different directions. Like, at one point, one of the birds is a secret spy for some sort of underground organization that you haven't heard of before. Then you kind of go off in a whole direction on that, and bird rights.
You making that face, that's like when all those people didn't want Dobby to have any rights.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's a Harry Potter reference. I knew you wouldn't understand. I just wanted to feel that.
I don't feel bad for not reading Harry Potter. I feel good about that. That was
When you
a good decision.
say visual novel, I mean, there's a difference between a visual novel and a dating sim. And as I understand it, Hatoful Boyfriend is kind of a, I don't want to say a parody, but it's definitely kind of a semi-subversive take on the whole Japanese dating sim thing. And boy, there are a lot of those, and some of them get very, very strange.
That is probably entirely true. I can't say I've ever played one before, so I don't know.
I mean, and they come in, sweet, mild, and super porn flavors.
Of course.
So
they come in other flavors than super porn. That's interesting.
I should say
like
there
in
is
Hatoful
no
Boyfriend, there's no sex.
there is no
that's
sex.
gross.
Yeah.
And
At
also
one
illegal.
point, you do hold the wing of a bird.
You look so ashamed when you said that.
I'm a little ashamed. Now that you mention it, I'm a little ashamed. But no, it's really good. It's sweet, and so far I've done like 4 of the 12 endings or something. And once you kind of have seen most of the dialogue and you can skip through it, a playthrough takes about 20 minutes to try different alternative endings, and it's fun. There's a visual novel that's fairly well known called I'm going to mispronounce this. I'm sorry, Danganronpa. And it's like a high school murder mystery, and I feel like that's going to be my next game. I'm going to target that. So this opened up a whole genre of games.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's what I've been playing.
I think it's fun that we can find new genres. I think that's like one of the coolest things about like indies right now is that like
just managed to fuse an adorable inchworm into another adorable inchworm.
Now you have a more powerful adorable inchworm.
Okay, is that what the difference is? I don't understand.
Yeah, you basically
levels.
when you fuse them, you level them up. You level up, and like if you use the same element type, which is basically background color, then I think it works better. And if you do like 4 or 5 at once, they tell me that it's cheaper, but I don't actually know that I've tested that.
No, actually, it was a whole lot more expensive putting 5 of them together. That was 780 coins.
Right, but was it 5 times more expensive than putting one?
I don't know, because now my tiny inchworm is still a tiny inchworm. I don't. But now it's tiny. Now it's a tiny inchworm with an exclamation point.
Right, you have to get them with an exclamation point.
What? An exclamation point?
I didn't get any exclamation points.
Oh, he got a skill level up.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, you have to get them to level 20, and then you like fuse them with a crappier version of them. And
then you evolve them.
Evolve menu instead.
Okay, so I
turn into an anime boobs.
Level 10 things.
I don't know. That's kind of how I picked what my team was. Whichever ones I randomly got first that were higher level.
All right. This has been an exciting episode of Dragon Coin Strategy, episode 60. But we're going to wrap this up now.
Episode 61 will be entirely about Dragon Coins.
We'll just do nothing but Dragon Coins. I'm sorry, everybody. Thank you. This was about Dragon Coins and dating pigeons. Gaming is a cornucopia of genres.
Oh, and sandbox MMOs.
That's true, and sandbox MMOs and old school RPGs.
Arguing with your spouse through rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, that's good. So you can find us online at liorblog.com/catcontextpodcast. This video, if you're watching it, I was about to say this video is on YouTube, but if you're watching it, you know that. But if you're listening,
this video is on YouTube.
We're also on iTunes. We're on Stitcher. Feel free to drop us a line. If you go to liorblog.com, over on the right-hand side, there is a link to click to get to our voicemail. You can also email us at podcast@liorblog.com. I'm on Twitter at Liores. Elly is on Twitter at ThatAngryDwarf, and Arrow is on Twitter at Arolaide. I think that's it.
Hooray!
Cool.
Hooray! Okay, everyone, let's go play more Dragon Coins.
Yeah.
Yay!
I added you as a friend, Arrow.
Hooray!
And I didn't even stop the Audacity recording halfway through this time.
Wow, we are totally professional this time. All right, so we'll be back in 2 weeks with more games, possibly on your phone or concerning birds. And until then, have fun and keep on playing. Bye!
Bye.
Bye.